Hello and welcome to Discovery Drama's podcast. It's March and spring is outside. It's a beautiful day and I had the pleasure of chatting to Bryan Burroughs. We kept it very short and to the point, a little bit about him and how he works, and a small introduction into the class which is happening on April 12th 2025. Places are booking out, so get your place quickly. Hello Bryan.
Hi.
How are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
It's lovely to chat to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me this morning about your workshop, which is happening on April the 12th in Terenure with Discovery Drama. So Bryan, first of all, thank you so much. I have been, as you know, chasing you for so long to ask you to try to find some availability from your side, because you're a really busy man, to come and facilitate our workshop on movement. So thank you so much for making the time to come and work with our students. So I just wanted to, Bryan, I've known you a long time. So the
Yeah.
first time we met was, is it, Jeannie, I'm afraid to say, I think it's about 18 years ago, maybe. Uh,
Yeah, something like
Grant,
that.
and we worked in a community project in Common Ground. Isn't that right?
That's it, exactly.
So I had never met you, but that was the first time I met you. So I was immediately impressed by you, Bryan. And I'm not just saying this to flatter your ego. It's just, you've such a lovely way about you, and just such an openness and a kind of sense of equality. And also, I think more than anything that struck me about you is your professionalism, how professional you are, and how you apply yourself to your work. And your work ethic is just super. And I've also seen you perform before in your beautiful show Beowulf, and
Mm.
it was a beautiful piece that you put together. And then I was lucky enough to have you perform beside me in Granuaile Pirate Queen. And again,
Yeah.
I'm blown away by your professionalism and your talent. And I know that you've been facilitating for a long time and working with a lot of groups, particularly in the Lear,
Mm.
which is a highly esteemed school. So I suppose, Bryan, would you be able to just give me a little chat about your work, or about theatre and your passion for it, or what drives you to keep going with your work ethic, and how you apply yourself?
Wow, that's such a lovely introduction, Gabrielle. Thank you kindly. I'm very flattered here now because I'm not on screen. I'm blushing.
Well,
The black and white photo that no longer looks like me at all, but that's a whole other conversation.
yeah.
Um, it's fascinating. Even hearing you lay it out like that, it
Mm,
helps me reflect and go, yeah, I'm incredibly, same as you and everyone I'm sure on this course in the Discovery Drama Group, passionate about the art form, just love acting and what it is. And I think it speaks probably to our interest in humanity and asking the question of why are we here? What are the nature of our relationships? Complex issues that arise in our lives and in our relationships with people. The idea of examining that, looking at that, assessing that, and putting it on stage in an expressionistic art form has always just been fascinating to me. Like back doing like school plays in my hometown. And
mm.
so as I grew
Keith
up, I
Carlo, yeah.
matured, and is Carlo indeed. Woo!
Carlo, yeah, of
And
Carlo.
to my delight and surprise, as I've gone on through the art form, through my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, I wondered, would it fade a bit? Would I get used to it? Would I become
Mm,
jaded? And the opposite is true. It has become more fascinating, more interesting. And as culture is shifting and changing, I find myself loving the art form even more. So a
yeah,
chance to come and work with Discovery Drama, I'm thrilled because every time I work with new people, it forces you to look at and assess
yeah,
your practice in a new environment and go, does what I believe in and what I think is are the essential tools for drama and acting
yeah.
to a high standard, do they hold? Are they still relevant? And you need the influx of new people with a new take on it and a new way of approaching it to keep you fresh as well. So I'm still fascinated by it. It's an ever evolving art form, and I still love it. I have to say, it's great.
Yeah, I know, I totally agree with that point there, Bryan, about like you just wonder, like you have a fire in your belly from when you're young, and when you're like an early teenager, 20s, you're just so passionate about it, and you just would do anything. You'd be a tree, you'd be a leaf,
Yeah.
but and you're like, is this going to fade away? But it doesn't. But actually, I think it becomes more special as you grow older, as you have more life experiences, and you just experience the empathy and the power of drama to transform and to get inside our heads and our hearts. So I agree, that's lovely. You put it far more eloquently than me. But I just wanted to say, I think you will really enjoy the group. So it's a group that kind of comes and goes, so kind of everybody is welcome. But there are a few core people who've been coming a lot, and it's a very open group. And they'll be delighted to work under your direction. So just in terms of so movement. So Bryan, you are a person who's extremely physical, but including myself, we mightn't be as fit as you. So like, I'm just wondering, like, do you need to be super fit to come along, or do you need to be a very
Not at
physical
all.
person?
The opposite, even, like, it's not. What's interesting is same as maybe every, when I was training back in the day, there were sort of three branches of the training. There was acting, there was
Yeah.
voice, and there was movement. And I remember in my naivety and even arrogance, I was like, sure, I know what acting is. That's what I'm here to do. I was like, voice, sure, I have a voice, I can speak. What's the big deal? I was like, what's movement? Like, what is it? Dance? Like, what is
Mhm.
that? I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I discovered then over time, going, it's basically acting. It's the same thing. Voice is acting, acting is acting, and movement is acting. Just that we're focusing on the body as the expressive art form, and going, as soon as we step on stage, the audience assess and look at the body. So the good news for the participants is you do not have to have done a tap of this in your life before. Just
Yeah.
being alive and living in your body is everything you need. That whilst we'll do a little bit of physical work to maybe get the bodies warmed up and moving, and I'd advise people, to wear loose fitting clothing, clothes they don't mind.
But
Uh,
no high heels that day.
no high heels, exactly,
No.
exactly that. We'll work gently and easily, but that it's more about how your body moves in space, how your body through everything it's been through. I'll talk a lot about how your body has been present for everything that's happened to you in your life, so it carries the map of your life, and that the way you gesture, the way you move, even the way you breathe, tells us a bit of a story. And we'll explore how what is your expressive nature like, and then how might that meet a character? Is it like you? Is it unlike you? And what are the tiny shifts you might make internally, imaginatively, physically to express that character? So on a day like we have, we'll basically cover the basics. We'll just do basic fundamentals that the actors can apply to any work immediately. And then I might bring in a scene or two to put it into practice, to go, well, if I was your director now and you were cast in this play, here are the things that, according to the writer's demands in the scene, and maybe me as director, movement director, might look for and ask for. So you'll be well able for all of it. It'll just be, if the workshop is about anything, it's just about shifting your focus to another way of working and going, there's an avenue of how to get results as well that might appeal to people in the group. And it's something they can use and utilize once they begin it. There's no end to it. Once you start noticing the things I'll draw attention to, it's a life's work. You start noticing and seeing it everywhere. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Bryan, that sounds really interesting and really exciting, actually, more than anything. And I've no doubt that everybody's really going to enjoy the day. So I'm going to keep this short because I just wanted to give anybody who's considering joining on the day just a flavour of you and who you are, and your passion and your knowledge of what you do. So, Bryan, listen, thank you so much, and I hope you have a really great day.
Thank you, Gabrielle. See you shortly.
Okay,
Bye.
slán go fóill.